Are we good to go? All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order. We have an agenda before us. Is there any additions or deletions to this agenda?
Reeve, administration would like to request the following, if you may, or if we may. The item is under 9, new business, 9.4, financial and strategic. 9.4.1, bylaw number 1927, amendment unpaid tax penalties bylaw. Additionally, you'd like to request a deletion under 5.2, a deletion for Bonneville Shooting Sports Association.
That's too bad because we would have had half of the Sabai family here. Any other additions or deletions? Seeing none, I'm looking for a motion to accept the amended agenda. Thank you, Councillor Deschênes, for making that motion. That council approves adoption of the agenda with the following amendments before you. Any discussion? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. Oh, a show of hands. All those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. All right, we're going to adoption of the, oh, there it is. Adoption of the minutes, regular meeting of council, January 13, 2026. Someone like to make a motion? Yeah, thank you. Councillor Crick for making that motion. That council approves adoption of the minutes of January 13, 2026, regular meeting of council as presented. Any discussion on this motion? I'm seeing none. Are we voting by hand again, or we're good to go now? All right. I'll call for the vote.
Didn't want to.
You're good? He's good. That's carried. Thank you. Let's go over to subdivision applications number 8.1. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Administration is presenting subdivision application 2025-S-019 for council's consideration. This application proposes one 14-acre parcel from previously subdivided agricultural quarter section southwest 12/62/6 west of the 4th meridian as shown on the map in Appendix A. Notification of the proposed subdivision was sent to referral agencies and adjacent landowners with a deadline of January 7th to submit concerns to be considered at today's council meeting. No concerns have been received regarding this application. The subject site is located approximately 1.75 kilometers north of Township Road 620 on Range Road 461. This application complies with the Municipal Government Act, Subdivision and Development Regulation, Lower Athabasca Regional Plan, and Municipal Development Plan. This application does not comply with the municipality's land use bylaw section 69.4 BI. Therefore, it is recommended that the proposed subdivision be refused. Alternatively, council may choose to approve the proposed subdivision in accordance with Land Use Bylaw Section 69.4 BV and the Municipal Government Act Section 6542A. Administration would recommend the conditions outlined in Appendix B. It should be noted that the applicant selected this parcel size and configuration primarily due to the presence of an existing natural gas line, which would limit their ability to relocate the septic system in order to comply with the land use bylaw maximum subdivision area allowance. The applicants, Tim and Natalie Sabai, are present today should council have any questions for them.
Thank you. Council? Caroline?
Through the
Oh, sorry,
REIV,
Counselor Palmer.
through the REIV to the developmental, or to the planner. What kind of sewer system do we have on the property
Through the REIV, there is a pump-out system currently.
above ground? Okay, thank you.
Someone like to make a motion, or someone has any other questions? Counselor DeShane?
Due to the circumstances of the development, I would be willing to make a motion that we approve this development subdivision as asked for.
As asked for?
Yeah, as their application is asking for, I think I would make that motion to accept it.
Okay, so your motion would be that council accepts subdivision application instead of refuses, or is there a option three or option two? Option two?
That would be option 2.
Would you like to go with option two then? I guess you should read it first if you're making,
I
the
read it last night.
okay.
Getting my computer back up here.
Counselor Amalia, while we're waiting?
I just gonna say, so your option 2, so that would be subject to the conditions that were listed, then I'm assuming is how you intend that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, it's on your screen,
Yep.
that's what you're, okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Counselor DeShane, for making this motion. The council approves subdivision application number 2025-S-019 for a 114-acre parcel from a previous subdivided agricultural quarter section southwest 1262-6 west of the 4th Meridian for Tim and Natalie Sabai as per the following conditions 1 through 6 before you. Any discussion on this motion? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, neighbors.
All right, we're going to 9.2.1.
Good morning, Council.
Morning.
Administration is bringing forward an alternate solution to manage and finance our light-duty fleet. Infrastructure Services is asking Council to adopt a lease program for our light-duty fleet rather than purchasing vehicles through the equipment replacement program. Administration has been working with Enterprise Fleet Management to identify potential savings by switching to a lease model to manage our light-duty fleet. It was determined that the MD would save roughly $2.2 million in the first 10 years of the program and have an average savings of $210,000 per year following the initial 10 years. The reference to the strategic plan is Goal 1, building a viable and diversified regional economy. Costs and source of funding. No additional funding is required. For the 2026 season, the existing capital budget for light-duty vehicles would be utilized to fund the program. Following this year, the lease program would move to the operating budget. Communication strategy, communication via MD Council minutes posted on the MD website. And the administration recommendation is that Council adopts the lease program for light-duty fleet vehicles through Enterprise Fleet Management as recommended by the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you. Deputy Reeve Fadeev.
Yeah, good morning. So say in about a year's time, we keep our fingers on it and everything's looking not like it's supposed to. Is there a way to get out of this?
Through the chair to Deputy Reeve Fadeev, I do have a enterprise rep in in the House today, so if you may, I'd like to call him up and ask him that question.
Sure, thanks.
Stephanie, do we need to make a motion?
Because it's part of the presentation that Mr. Pache is making today, I think it would be acceptable just for him to assist Ryan in
Okay, thank you.
giving council the
Continue.
information.
Oh, council members. Yes, we are a 30-day notice program, so if it's not working the way you're thinking, you would just need to give us 30 days and we're out of it.
Okay.
So just a 30-day notice and,
Yes.
hey, sounds good.
Any other questions or, yeah, Counselor Crick?
Yeah, so with 30-day notice, there's no fees or any extra costs getting out of it either then, or how's
No,
that
so
work?
it would basically be if the vehicles are financed, if they are under depreciated, which is not how we lease a structure, you typically have a positive equity, you'll get money back for the vehicles. That would be cycled at a time, or there isn't any admin costs that enterprise imposed to get out of the program.
Okay. Yeah, I think typically, just a comment, typically leasing kind of makes me nervous, but I mean, this one sounds like it's going to save us money, so I'm willing to give it a try.
Counselor Deschênes,
Are we ready to make a motion to accept this?
it's totally up to you, sir.
Well, I'd like to make that motion that we go with option one.
Okay,
I think it would be nice to try a new system.
all right, thank you, Counselor Deschênes, for making this motion, that council adopts the lease program for light-duty fleet vehicles through Enterprise Fleet Management as recommended by the Committee of the Whole. Any discussion, council, on this motion? I'm seeing none, I'll call for the vote. That's carried, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to 9.2.2.
Good morning, Reeve Kalinsky. Good morning, Council.
Morning.
Administration is here to requesting Council's approval of its revised 2026 bridge work program. The proposed 2026 bridge work program as revised includes 2 bridge replacement projects cancellation, 3 bridge replacement projects adding budget for construction, 1 bridge replacement project, add budget for engineering and construction, or bridge rehabilitation project, add budget for engineering and construction, and 3 new bridge replacement projects, adding budget for engineering. The revised program reflects feedback received during the 2026 budget deliberations, the 2025 bridge workshop, and an after-council planning session on January 13th, 2026. Attached are the following: the proposed budget allocations for bridge projects, and some supplementary information about those projects. Administration's recommended action is that council approves funding as was proposed, which in net is a request of $4.625 million, and then a release from an existing project back to the bridge reserve of $1.13 million, and all of that funding is going back and forth from the bridge reserve.
Thank you. Counselor Crick.
Comments on about 3 of them here, so. The bridge file 2752, that was the one south of Muriel Lake. I did have a resident in that area contact me with concerns about the bridge, and I'm thinking if that bridge is getting closed, then we really should be asking the province to finish the highway that goes east and west, Highway 657. That's part of the, like, we had our bridge on our road, and then about a half a mile to the south is the provincial highway that's still a gravel road, 657. And that road, he had a bunch of concerns. He said, like, the road is very poorly maintained, and I've been on both of those roads, and I know what he's talking about. The provincial highway is a lot worse than our road was, so he's kind of choked that he has to drive on the provincial highway now instead of our road, because our road was a better road. When it's dry out, a lot of washboard on the provincial highway and dust, a lot more dust than ours. And I guess that's a compliment to our guys. They did a great job maintaining the road. The provincial highway, when it's wet, just a bunch of slime too, and just really nasty. So I guess I have a little hesitation. I know we talked about just closure on that one, but I have a little hesitation there on closing that based on, unless we're going to keep after the province to get that highway finished. So that's a comment on that one. And then bridge file 2107, just looking at the map, that one's up by Iron River area. I'm not super familiar with that, but it just looked like one that maybe might be a potential cost savings if we don't replace that one. So maybe that one, the administration can speak to that one. And then I had one more. And then the very last one in the list there too is, I just thought it was kind of a odd location to be spending a bunch of money on a bridge, because they're proposing for the last bridge there, 75639. It's proposed at $900,000, and that's a rehabilitation. But that one looks like it's kind of in the middle of nowhere too. So maybe staff want to speak to that, those two.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Amalia?
I can speak to the 75639.
Okay.
That's the one that is north and slightly east of Glendon. And it is, it is a small road crossing Little Creek. It's primarily what we might call local traffic, but it does make a big difference to the farmers that live and operate on each side of that. So yeah, that is one that was brought up before, that last fall or so they found the structural problems in the foundation of it. It's a rehabilitation because they're able to remove the existing deck, because the deck was changed not that many years ago. And so they can remove that deck, rebuild the foundation, put the deck back on. So that's why it's a rehabilitation rather than a new construction. But yeah, that bridge itself makes a significant difference to people that have to farm back and forth across that road.
Okay. That one there, it's, like looking at the map, it looks like it's only half a mile. There's a road either side of the half mile there, so it's.
You want to bring it up on the?
The road underneath does not join around, like there, underneath that.
It's up there now.
Right.
No, that's not the one.
That's not the right
All the way to
one.
the very last page. Yeah, that red arrow is not covering up roads. It's a 4-mile detour, like 4 miles down, 4 miles back up.
Okay.
Detour, and
Okay.
It's a long ways on
Okay.
a tractor.
Oh wait, I figured that was covering up roads, so thanks for that
Yeah,
clarification.
no, there is no road underneath that arrow.
Yeah, there's people that live north on 485. It's a numbered road that I'll never forget. And if you got to come north, it's a long haul, like Councillor Amalia is saying. Sorry, Councillor DeShane?
Just a quick question to clarify. These, in your options there, you got bridge replacement, and then you're adding engineering and financing. So if we are just replacing a bridge, add budget to engineering and construction, we have to re-engineer the bridges that we're just replacing?
Through the chair to Councillor DeShane, when we do the engineering, we carry forward all that information onto construction. Is that what the nature of your question is there?
No, you're adding to the budget to re-engineer the bridge. Is that necessary for a bridge that's already engineered if you're just replacing parts?
Oh, I understand what you're saying there. No, yes, it is. It's when we do replace a bridge, there's a requirement we bring it up to code. And so the original bridge would have been designed to the 1960 year, whenever it was built, bridge code. When we do replace that bridge, there's a requirement to bring it up to the modern bridge code, the 2026 bridge code. And there often results in a much larger structure with a bigger opening and improved safety standards.
Okay, things change, correct, thank you.
Just looking for a motion or any other comments?
Reeve, I'll make the motion to be option number 1 as presented.
All right, thank you, Deputy Reeve Fideo, for making this motion that council approves funding the 2026 capital bridge work projects as followed. They're before you on the page. Any other discussion on this? Councillor Crick.
Yeah, just want to comment on the motion. So the motion does, has the bridge out south of Mirror Lake being closed. So that'll, just for clarity, that's going to come to a first reading for a bylaw, and you'll bring that back for our first reading, and then we'll have a public hearing on it. And depending what we hear, then we might have to look at opening that bridge up again, so.
Through the chair, the bridge has been closed for safety reasons. In order to enact a permanent bridge closure there is a process that's involved that's outlined in the MGA. At this point, I'm proposing to leave the bridge in a little bit of a state of limbo just to kind of test the waters to see the public's appetite for a permanent closure of that crossing. So that gives council the opportunity to course correct if there is a significant public pushback on the long-term closure of that bridge. It is something we could proceed with permanent closure in the short term, but that would be council's option.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this motion? Well, I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote, please. That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to just take a little break here because we're going into public hearing here at 9:30, so we'll break till 9:30. A public hearing this morning. Before we begin the public hearing for bylaw number 1904, road closure and disposal, I would like to announce this public hearing will include both in-person and electronic participants and is being recorded and will be accessible for public viewing. Additionally, I would like to remind in-person attendees who wish to address any of the public hearings on today's agenda to register your name on speaker's list at the entrance of council chambers. I would also like to outline the process to be followed for this public hearing. We will begin with a staff report from administration, also presenting as the applicant, followed by questions of administration from council. We will then call upon members of the public who wish to speak in support of the application, followed by those who wish to speak in opposition of the application. Council may ask questions of the public presenter during this time only. Participants will be called to speak in order they have appeared on the registry list, starting with electronic participants followed by in-person attendees. Registered virtual participants must ensure their camera is off and microphone muted except when their turn to address council. When addressing council, participants must clearly state their name if they are speaking on their own behalf or on behalf of another person or group. The MD reserves the right to immediately remove any participants who are continuously disruptive to the public hearing, present and in appropriate manner, including virtual attendees on camera and/or use of inappropriate language. The applicant will have a chance to address and rebut any opposition to their application, followed which council will have an opportunity to ask questions based solely on the information presented during the rebuttal. Finally, we will entertain any final questions of council to administration before closing the public hearing. May I have a motion to open the public hearing? Thank you, Councillor Kaluk. Any discussion on that? I'll call for the vote. That's carried. All right, I'll ask the administration to please present.
Hello. Administration is presenting for public hearing roadway closure and disposal bylaw number 1904, authorizing the MD of Bonnyville to close and dispose of by direct sale at fair market value a portion of public roadway as described in Appendix A, in accordance with policy number C-3A.022 disposal of roadways policy. The applicant has requested to close, purchase, and consolidate approximately 368 square meters of roadway into their adjacent parcel as they are the sole users of this portion of Lakeview Drive, and closure of the same would not hinder legal access to any neighboring properties nor utility corridors. Bylaw number 1904 was given first reading by council on November 25th, 2025. Pursuant to the Municipal Government Act, council must hold a public hearing before given second reading to a proposed road closure and disposal bylaw. Following this public hearing, administration will forward the bylaw to Alberta Transportation and Economic Corridors for their approval prior to being presented for second and third reading to council. No concerns were received regarding this application.
Thank you. Is there any questions from council? Councillor Duchesne.
Tarif, thank you. It was my understanding that we could not sell roadway, but this is not a provincial-owned road. This is just a MD public road. How does that work? Because most of our grid roads and that were provincially owned for us to look after, correct? So
Correct. We'll ask the experts.
Through the Reeve, this is a registered road plan, so it is ultimately owned by the province of Alberta. However, municipalities have care and control. That would be the reason why we would need Alberta Transportation Economic Corridors approval prior to second and third reading.
Answer his question? Yes.
yeah, no, I didn't think we were allowed to sell roadways.
Councillor Palmer?
Just to provide through the brief to Councillor Duchesne, this was a subdivision road. It was registered through a subdivision, so it's not a gridded out road system. So basically, it's dead-ended, and with the ability to have other access provided, this would be ended roads that will never go anywhere, basically. So it's in our benefit to clean it up.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? I'm not seeing any, so, all right, thank you. We have no registered attendees for support and no registered attendees in opposition. Any further questions from council? Okay, seeing none, I'd like someone to make a motion to close this public hearing. Councillor Crick? Thank you for making that motion. That public hearing for bylaw number 1904, road closure and disposal, to be closed at 9:35 a.m. Any discussion? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. We have another part. Go ahead.
We are the next 9.3 items. You're going somewhere else.
You're way ahead of me. Yes, it's the grueling thing we got to do again, eh?
I've shortened it.
Go right ahead.
All right. 9.3.1, administration is seeking approval for roadway license bylaw number 1907 as described in Appendix B and in accordance with the roadway licensing policy to be used for grazing purposes. Bylaw number 1907 received first reading at the December 9th, 2025 council meeting and was advertised in accordance with the roadway licensing policy. Administration is recommending that council give second reading to bylaw number 1907 and furthermore, if carried, proceed to third reading.
Thank you. Someone like to make a motion? Okay, Councillor Palmer, do you like to make that motion? That bylaw number 1907, being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Bonneville, number 87, roadways and license be giving second reading. Any discussion on this motion? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Looking for a third. Thank you, Deputy Reeve Fadea, for making the motion that bylaw number 1907 be given third reading. Any discussion on this motion, Council? All right, I'll call for the vote. That's carried. On to 1908.
Item 9.3.2, administration is seeking approval for a roadway license bylaw number 1908 as described in Appendix B to be used for pasture and livestock grazing between parcels on either side of the road allowance. Bylaw number 1908 received first reading at the December 9th, 2025 council meeting and was advertised in accordance with the roadway license policy. Administration is recommending that council give second reading to bylaw number 1908 and if carried, proceed to third reading.
Thank you. Looking for a motion, Council? Thank you, Councillor Klug, for making this motion that bylaw number 1908 being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Bonneville, number 87, roadways and license be given second reading. Any discussion on this motion? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Looking for third. Thank you, Councillor DeShane, for making the motion that bylaw number 1908 be given third reading. Any discussion on this motion? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. On to 1909.
Item 9.3.2. Administration is seeking approval for roadway license bylaw number 1909, 9.3.3.
Yeah. Okay.
Administration is seeking approval for roadway license bylaw number 1909 as described in Appendix B to be used for the continued location of an existing communication tower. Bylaw number 1909 received first reading at the December 9th, 2025 council meeting and was advertised in accordance with the roadway license policy. Administration is recommending that council give second reading to bylaw number 1909 and if carried, proceed to third reading.
Thank you. Council looking for a motion. Thank you, Councillor Palmer, for making that motion. The bylaw number 1909 being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Bonneville, number 87, roadways and licensing given second reading. Any discussion on this motion? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Looking for third. Thank you, Councillor Klug, for making that motion that bylaw number 1909 be given third reading. Any discussion on this motion? I'm not seeing it. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. On to 9.3.4.
Administration is seeking approval for roadway license bylaw number 1910 as described in Appendix B to be used for additional commercial industrial yard space. Bylaw number 1910 received first reading at the December 9th, 2025 council meeting and was advertised in accordance with the roadway license policy. Administration is recommending that council give second reading to bylaw number 1910 and if carried to proceed to third reading.
Thank you. Looking for a motion? Thank you, Councillor Crick, for making that motion. The bylaw number 1910 being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Bonneville number 87, roadways and licensing being given second reading. Any discussion, council? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Looking for a third reading. Thank you, Councillor DeShane, for making this motion that bylaw number 1910 be given third reading. Any discussion on this motion, council? Seeing none, we're going to call for the vote. That's carried on to 9.3.5.
Administration is seeking approval for roadway license bylaw number 1911 as described in Appendix B to be used for gravel pit access and operations for surface material leases. Bylaw number 1911 received first reading at the December 9th, 2025 council meeting and was advertised in accordance with the roadway license policy. Administration is recommending that council give second reading to bylaw number 1911 and if carried to proceed to third reading.
Thank you. Looking for a motion. Councillor Amalia, thank you for making this motion that bylaw number 1911 being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Bonneville number 87, roadways and licensing, be giving second reading. Any discussion on this motion, council? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Looking for a third. Thank you, Councillor DeShane, for making that motion that bylaw number 1911 be given third reading. Any discussion on this motion, council? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. On to 9.3.6.
Administration is seeking approval for roadway license bylaw number 1912 as described in Appendix B to be used for the continued use of an existing cabin on the roadway. Bylaw number 1912 received first reading at the December 9th council meeting and was advertised in accordance with the roadway license policy. Administration is recommending that council give second reading to bylaw number 1912 and if carried to proceed to third reading.
I wanted to give you a second reason. That's usually me doing that. Looking for a motion, council. Councillor Kaluk, thank you for making this motion that bylaw number 1912 being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Bonneville number 87, roadways and licensing be giving second reading. Any discussion, council? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Looking for third reading. Councillor Palmer, thank you for making this motion that bylaw number 1912 be given third reading. Any discussion? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. On to 9.3.7.
Administration is seeking approval for roadway license bylaw number 1913 as described in Appendix B to be used to access the parcel from Range Road 411A. Bylaw number 1913 received first reading at the December 9th, 2025 council meeting and was advertised in accordance with the roadway license policy. Administration is recommending that council give second reading to bylaw number 1913 and if carried to proceed to third reading.
Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Fidea, for making that motion. That bylaw number 1913 being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Bonneville number 87, roadways and licensing be given second reading. Any discussion? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Looking for third. All right. Thank you, Councillor Kaluk, for making this motion that bylaw number 1913 be given third reading. Any discussion on this motion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Caroline, did you vote? She was studying 9.3.8, so she's a little ahead of herself there. 9.3.8.
Administration is seeking approval for roadway license bylaw number 1914 as described in Appendix B to be used for agricultural purposes. Bylaw number 1914 received first reading at the December 9th, 2025 council meeting and was advertised in accordance with the roadway license policy. Administration is recommending that council give second reading to bylaw number 1914 and if carried to proceed to third reading.
Thank you. Just looking for a motion, council. Thank you, Councillor DeShane, for making that motion. That bylaw number 1914 being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Bonneville, number 87, roadways and license be given second reading. Any discussion? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Looking for third. Thank you, Councillor Palmer, for making this motion that bylaw number 1914 be given third reading. Any discussion, council, on this? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. On to 9.3.9.
Okay. Administration is seeking approval for bylaw number LU 582 to amend the land use bylaw number 1667 to rezone Northwest 3262-1 west of the 4th Meridian from Country Residential District CR1 back to Agricultural District as described in the appendices. Bylaw number LU 582 was given first reading on November 25th, 2025. A public hearing was held on January 13th, 2026 with no concerns submitted or presented. Administration is recommending that council give second reading to bylaw number LU 582 and furthermore, if carried, to proceed to third reading.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Palmer, for making this motion, that bylaw number LU 582 being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Bonneville number 87 to amend bylaw number 1667 land use bylaw be given second reading. Any discussion, council, on this motion? I'm not seeing any. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Looking for third. Thank you, Deputy Reeve Fidea, for making this motion that bylaw number LU 582 be given third reading. Any discussion on this? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. On to 9.3.10.
Good morning, Council.
Morning.
So Mr. George Chandro appeared before Council on January 13th of 2025 at the regular meeting of Council to request his road licensing application fee in the sum of $300 for a 3-year term be waived. The MD of Bonneville currently licenses a total of 3 road allowances in various locations with residents and industry partners. The road licensing application fee is set by Council as part of the MD bylaw 1899, the master rates bylaw, and is currently $300 for a 3-year term. The current fee is set at an affordable level for applicants, but it does not cover the cost of the required advertising or the administrative work involved in circulation, review, and preparing the item for Council. Mr. Chandro has licensed the roadway as per the legal description in Appendix A since January of 2008. He has installed a gate to prevent the public from entering the property, lots 5, 6, and 7, to turn around at the end of the roadway. He has requested Council consider waiving the road license application fee, given that he maintains the area. The standard MD road licensing agreement has been attached hereto as Appendix B, and Clause 21A and B of the agreement indicates that the licensee may place gates at each end of the license area. However, public access to the roadway must not be restricted by using any locking mechanisms on the gate. Additionally, Clause 21C indicates that the licensee shall, at its own expense, maintain the licensed area. Policy 3A.018, the licensing of roadways policy, also attached as Appendix C, Clause 2I and J, further confirm the parameters of gate installation and public access. If council confirms that Mr. Chandro is required to pay the road licensing application fee, failure to remit the payment would require him to remove his gate from the roadway. So our recommendation is that council denies the request for Mr. Chandro to waive the road licensing application fee in the sum of $300 for the 2026 to 2028 licensing term.
Thank you. Counselor Deschênes.
So if, are you asking him to remove the gate as it is, or unlock the gate, or what are your recommendations for him at this point?
Yeah, through the reef to Councillor Duchesne, if he pays his $300 fee and signs a new agreement, he can keep the gate there. He can't have it locked, so he's not allowed to lock the gate. If he does not want to renew, then he would have to remove the gate and the fence in its entirety.
And does that small piece of property, does it, that's a roadway, and he maintains it, and then he maintains the trail down to the lake through that property?
It's my understanding that the trail down to the lake is on the backside of his
Yeah,
property.
it's-
People don't cross through his
It's on the
property
east
to
side
get-
that comes from the roadway, I think, all the way.
Okay, so he's maintaining both, but has he had problems with vandalism, theft, or any of that through that piece of property?
I'm sorry, I can't answer that question.
Has
I
it
wouldn't
reported
understand.
any?
Yeah, not to my knowledge.
Not sure what to say, thank you.
Okay, Counselor Crick, then Counselor Palmer.
Okay, I'm just gonna make a motion for option one. Everybody else has to pay the fees for the road licensing agreements, so I think we just stay consistent with the policy.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you, Counselor Crick, for making this motion that council denies the request by Mr. George Chandro to waive the road licensing application fees in the sum of $300 for the 2026 to 2028 licensing term. Any discussion on this motion? I just have one. He has a gate that it's automatic, so it closes, so you can't just go up to it and open it like a fence, so like it's,
So typically, we would enforce based on a complaint. So if there's a complaint that somebody's trying to access that area, which should be able to be accessed, then we would investigate at that time.
right, okay. Counselor Deschênes?
So you won't ask him to remove the gate or change the gate until we have a complaint, is that correct?
Correct. If there's a complaint that somebody is looking to access that area, we would investigate and just make sure that the gate doesn't have a locking mechanism on it.
Is there a reason somebody would want to access that piece of property? Is there entrance to other properties, or is there some need for people to be there?
In my opinion, I don't feel there would be a need for someone to access that small area of road.
Well, he owns all three lots that come through that, so.
That's what I thought, yeah, so. All right, thank you.
All right, we have Counselor, are you finished, Ed? Yeah. Counselor Amalia and then Counselor Palmer, or no? No.
I think you've found the answer already, but yeah, if you look under Appendix A, it has the pictures and everything, and as was stated, the only reason to go through that gate is to access his own lots and property anyway, so.
And this is like $100 a year kind of thing for this gate, correct?
Correct. It's $300 for the full 3-year term.
Right, okay. And what is this fee went up from the last, like, it was 150 before, now it's for 3 years, and now it's $100?
Correct. I believe it was 2 years ago that when the master rates bylaw was opened up, that it went from 150 to 300.
All right, thank you. Any final questions? Yes, Counselor Deschênes.
Just an argument that if that's access to only his properties, I don't see why he can't have a gate or why he can't have control of that access. That's I don't understand why we'd be worried about the public entering there if they don't need to be there.
Councillor Amalia?
Perhaps you guys can correct, but yeah, through the chair to Councillor DeShane. My understanding would be is that's simply a matter of policy, that if somebody is licensing a roadway, then the standard policy is, yes, they can gate it off, but they have to allow access. And so rather than tweaking for this one particular instance because of its unique situation, then it's simply a matter of the policy is that he cannot deny access. But he can deny access to his land, so yeah, it's just a matter of he moves the gate up on the roadway rather than at his place, because, like I said, just the way it's shaped, nobody would have a reason to go through that gate other than his land anyway, so. But, yeah, no, and my understanding is that he is allowed to have the gate, it's just a matter of, without amending the policy or making exceptions to the policy, then if he puts a gate, he can't have it locked. That's all it is.
And I believe the reason we cannot, like, we just sold one here today, or because if there's 3 different parcels, correct?
Yes, through the
So if it
REAP.
ever gets cut up, you can't sell that piece
Through the REAP.
to him, correct?
Yes, through the REAP. There are 3 parcels, and people don't own land in perpetuity, so at any time, he could sell any one of those parcels.
That's
And there
correct.
needs to be legal and physical access to all 3 parcels.
So, so if it was similar to this morning's, well, then we could probably just sell that chunk or whatever and get it off, but since there's 3 parcels there, we can't. So that's correct. And we don't have the road at that time. Now we got a problem. All right, any other discussion? All right, I'll call for the vote. That's carried, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to take 5 minutes because we have a delegation here. So let's just take 5 minutes and let them. Welcome back. We do have a delegation now, Portage College, and here they are. Go ahead. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for allowing us to come and give you a bit of an update on what the college is doing. As many of you know, I am the former president of Portage College, Nancy Broadbent, and I'm already retired. I'm just here to thank you for all the support that you've given us in the past and make sure that the torch is passed to our new president, Dr. Stephen Price. So congratulations to all of you on the election, and thank you for letting us be here this morning. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Price, and I'm going to step away so that there's a seat for Don, who is our Associate Vice President Academic, and he will be giving you updates on all the great things that are happening here in Bonnyville.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for that opening. Appreciate it.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
As Nancy mentioned, I'm Steve Price. I'm the new president of Portage College. I started October 1st. I want to just start with my gratitude to Nancy. I had the opportunity to have 2 months of an overlap with Nancy, giving me some mentorship, some introductions. With the election, we tried to get around to all of the councils in November and December, and obviously we couldn't fit them all in, so we really are grateful to you allowing us to come today. Nancy has done an amazing job at Portage. She's been at the college for over 35 years. She's now officially retired, and her presidency over the last 6 years really has put Portage in a place that is community integrated. And for me, the opportunity to come into the college as the next president really is about building on the great successes that Nancy and the team have achieved. I'm from Fort McMurray originally and have been in Calgary the last 25 years, Mount Royal University. I'm not sure who's got the slides, but if you go to the 3rd slide, there's just a little bit about me, and then we'll talk about the college. But just wanted to share, someone growing up in Fort McMurray, spending summers and weekends in this region, playing sports as an athlete myself. I was a high school teacher in Fort McMurray for 7 years. During that time, I got to coach, including I coached the Northeast basketball team for the 14, 15-year-olds Did that for 5 summers, 2 with the girls and then 3 with the boys' teams. And our team was a mix of athletes from Bonnyville, from the MD of Bonnyville. We had athletes from Grand Centre, from Cold Lake, from St. Paul, and the Northeast Sports Zone goes all the way to Lloyd, Vegreville, Vermilion. So lots of time in this area. And my dad was a hunter and did a lot of camping and fishing. And so many summers spent at various parks in this region. So the opportunity to come back to this region, to come to Portage, with Portage being across the region with 7 campuses, including the main campus in Lac La Biche, but we have campuses in St. Paul and Cold Lake, as well as campuses on Saddle Lake First Nation, Frog Lake First Nation, and Whitefish, Goodfish First Nation as well. We've had a presence in Bonnyville, and we're back in Bonnyville now. We've got our Class 1 driving instruction happening here in the town. And of course, the opportunity to serve the students of this region is so very important to Portage College. So we wanted to spend a little bit of time today, and I brought with me, so not only Nancy, who is, again, so gracious to introduce me, but our Associate Vice President of Academics, Dr. Don Moore, well, soon to be doctor. He's on the final stages of completing his PhD. But him and I will just sort of tag team the next couple slides where we just want to walk through very quickly some of the successes of Portage and looking at the numbers. So I'll share my slides with you. But the next slide, if you're please, look at the numbers. So over the last 5 years, we've had over 400 students from Bonnyville attending our various campuses or online programming. 48% of our students that attended in person went to Cold Lake, 26% were online, and the programs they were enrolled in included college prep, early learning, childcare, open studies, university studies, practical nursing, the community social work program, and apprenticeship programs, including electrician, the educational assistant, and business admin. Portage overall, our numbers have been exceeding 1,500 students the last couple years, and approximately 1,700 additional online students that have been part of our programming. We have 370 or so employees across the region, and we spend approximately $38 million between salaries and then contributions to things through businesses in the region. A study was done back, this is almost 10 years ago now, but the economic impact of Portage College on the region. And so again, 10 years ago, it showed that we annually generated 290 jobs, spent $863,000 on student impact spending, the alumni impact and the total impact of $110 million annually from the work of Portage. Don, do you want to speak to our new and upcoming programs?
Absolutely. So as Dr. Price has identified, it's been quite the busy time at Portage College with all the new and growing programs that we do have. And at the same time as we're talking about a number of the programs that we do have at the college, I'm also going to briefly comment on how we've been expanding some of our pathways to make sure that we do connect with folks all across the region. So one of our new programs has been the Addictions Counseling Program. We know that addictions continues to be quite the challenge all across Alberta, but we are hearing a lot of that across northeastern Alberta in particular. And so our Addictions Counseling Program is meant to kind of support and augment some of the work that our social work program is doing in order to really help address the need that we see in our region. Additionally, we know that trades are really the backbone of a lot of the development that's occurring in northeastern Alberta. We've heard the demand for trades. We know that trades are
Excuse me, sir. Could you just move your mic closer to yourself?
Sure. Thank you very much.
Yeah, there you go.
Otherwise, I can go on forever and no one will hear me. We know that trades continues to be a very in-demand area for northeastern Alberta. And while Portage College has always had a presence with trades, we have been working quite hard with our local municipalities and the government to expand trades training. I'm very proud to see how much our trades training has grown at Portage College. A couple of years ago, we just had apprenticeship electrician and apprenticeship welding, as well as some of our pre-employment programs. This year, in addition to our apprenticeship welding and an expanded apprenticeship electrician, where we're continuing to see record numbers from Bonnyville, Cold Lake, and all across the area, we are also adding apprenticeship steam fitter, pipe fitter, which is moving to a blended model so that we can respond more to some of the folks from Bonnyville and the MD as well. Additionally, we have relaunched our apprenticeship carpentry and our apprenticeship heavy-duty mechanic programs in order to really help make sure that folks can get trained in Northeastern Alberta to work in Northeastern Alberta, because we know that the jobs are here, and if we can train folks up here, they're far more likely to stay up here and continue to contribute to our region. One of the areas that we're quite excited to be going through is the development of a Bachelor's of Education program, as well as a Essentials of Teaching program. So as a community college, currently we are really just approved to run certificate and diploma programs. However, we've run some degree programs in collaboration with other institutions, such as University of Alberta and NAIT. Ambitiously, our institution is undergoing the process to become a degree granting institution, which will allow us to confer Portage College degrees in our region. As we began this process under Nancy and continuing under Dr. Price, we decided to really do this based on what we've heard has been a need for our area. And one of the biggest ones that we heard was teachers. Trying to get teachers in the region, teachers trained in the region, to be able to continue to teach in the region. So we've been pursuing our Bachelor's of Education here with an intention to deliver an online program so that folks are more able to continue working in the field while they're here and really meet that local need. It's quite a process. It can sometimes take many years. We're actually, I would say, proceeding quite well and has been quite positive so far in the process. We're not sure if it'll be a fall 2026 or fall 2027. We're waiting on some additional accreditation, but it has been a very positive process. And once that's conferred, then Portage College will actually have degree granting status, and we'll be able to issue degrees in other fields in the future as well too. Beyond that, we also have a new kinesiology program that started based out of our Lac La Biche campus, and it's mostly working with athletics and individuals who want to get into that rec world, and a pre-health sciences certificate too. And so that is really helped to build pathways for individuals who want to get in the health field but are not certain which area of health they want to explore quite yet, whether it's paramedic, nursing, other forms of hospital care, but just to really help bring them forward. That's been positive not only for some adults who want to make that transition, but also for some of our youth who want to explore those healthcare possibilities early on so we can build those pathways all the firmer.
You can keep going with that one.
Oh, sure thing. So when we look at the programs that we currently offer, of course, academic upgrading and college preparation has always been a backbone of Portage College. That's a lot of the folks who are finishing their high school or doing some pre-high school work. Additionally, our early learning childcare certificate and diploma programs continue to be very, very large. We're actually the largest in the province for those programs. The majority of individuals who take their early learning childcare across Alberta do so with Portage College, and we're very proud of that. And that's allowed us to make sure that the opportunities exist to fulfill those well-needed positions here in Bonnyville as well too. We do a number of university studies courses online, some of our pre-health certificate programs online, and we're growing more into blended opportunities for students too. Again, just commenting on areas like steam fitter, pipe fitter, when industry tells us that this is a way that students can learn, and when we hear from students that that's where there's benefit, we make the adjustments, we do the pivots, and we make sure that we can bring the education to individuals as best we can. And so emergency medical responder, paramedic, those are good examples of some of our online blended programs where folks can continue to stay at home, come on site in Lac La Biche, or in the case of electrician, Cold Lake, just on the days that they need to, in a way so we can make sure that folks can get access to education brought to them. As folks know, we have had the community adult learning programs operating at Bonnyville for quite some time. That's been quite exciting to see how that particular program has responded to community need. Historically, the last couple of years, there's been a great focus on some of our newcomers and early English language learners. The majority of the workers who have worked with CALP historically are now employed in the region, in Bonnyville and the MD, so it's fantastic to see. So far, they've been pivoting a little bit more so to work with seniors, especially for digital skills and making sure that seniors are feeling safe when they're online and engaged with those opportunities. There's also a lot more outreach work that's happening right now with the Bonnieville Kelp. And so that's working with the Dove Center, the Hive, the Friendship Center to make sure that we can bring education to folks where they are and where they're most comfortable. Because building those connections is so important when we're working with access to education. And so we have a few different folks who are here, Michelle, Kelly, Frank, and they're all in the region. I was just visiting with them this morning, actually, and they were bragging about all the exciting things that they have going on.
Yeah, thanks, Don. Two final topics. I want to talk a little bit about the research that we're doing, and then I'll turn it back to Don to talk about the aircraft structures program that we're launching up in the top northeast of the MD. On the research side, we've had some faculty members that have been doing research for a very long time. We're really trying to grow this enterprise. We recently have a director of research that works under our vice president academic and research. So the VP academic and research is Dr. Don Filetichuk, and then it's Dr. Christina Holguin, thank you, who's our director of research. They're working with our 5 research chairs and looking with other faculty members where are there opportunities for us to conduct research. The mandate of a comprehensive community college is research that directly connects to any of the academic programs we offer. So that includes our trades, our diplomas, our certificates, and we can do research that is relevant to the region. So we want to just share with you that if there's opportunities, if there's something that the MD is thinking about, that where can we get more information? Yes, you can hire external consultants, and they like taking the dollars and cents from us, but we have students and faculty that could work together to answer some of those questions. And so just encourage that connection. You can reach out. On the final slide, we've got my contact information as well as Dr. Filetichuk's contact information. Reach out to us, and it's possible that we have faculty members that want to do student engaged research that could answer or look at some of the questions that come up in the MD here. The slide shows a bunch of other examples, but if you have any questions about those. We do have a slide related to our new strategy. Nancy led the institution through a new strategic plan that's going to give us direction up to 2035. It really is reaffirming the things that we've been doing, which community connection being one of those very important things, and then serving the needs of students, learners, but also the communities and the industries in our region. So new initiatives underway. I'm going to turn it back to Don for the next slide. In particular, the Northeast Alberta Collegiate, and then the aircraft structures, Don.
Fantastic, thank you. Both near and dear to my heart. Firstly, I'll talk a bit about the Aircraft Structures Technician Certificate Program. So as we know, aircraft continues to be an area of growth, especially in more of our rural and remote areas. And so working with the City of Cold Lake as well as Transport Canada and the Department of National Defence, we are planning to launch our Aircraft Structures Technician Program in fall 2026. We've already had some applicants coming in, which is quite exciting. Aircraft maintenance engineering is really organized under a few different areas, kind of the first area being the aircraft structure side, and that's folks who are working on any part of the plane that doesn't move when it's directly in flight, which is the way it's always explained to me. Exciting enough on that front, not only are we going to be serving the folks of our region directly, so that's any individual who wants to get engaged with it from the civilian side, we've also worked with the Department of National Defence to have our program approved and accredited as an equivalent to military training. And we just recently, I think it was last week, received a standing offer to have some military members identified and posted to our areas specifically to take programming from Portage College. Historically, this has been limited to areas such as Calgary, Bagotville, those components. But we felt, as we're trying to serve our region, why not also identify Portage College in that light? And so we have received the approval for that. And so for the next 3 to 5 years, we're expecting a number of membership to actually come to Portage College to take programming from us in lieu of the Department of National Defence. It's been a very positive partnership with the Colonel and Lieutenant Colonel. Additionally, we've also, as folks are probably aware, working with our school divisions in the region, have launched our Northeastern Alberta Collegiate Institute. That has come about from an opportunity to really expand career and training exposure at the high school level. So as we were exploring this, we had the opportunity to work with 4 superintendents all within our region, which is trying to schedule, I'm sure you can appreciate, was a unique challenge. But bringing all 4 superintendents together in order to talk about what this could look like. And then that way we can leverage on the opportunities between different school divisions to really make something of substance. We created a variety of pathways: health, education, and trades. I'll tell you, trades definitely seems to be the biggest one so far that we've seen the most interest from students. And a lot of that has amounted to trades exposure related training that can connect with, that can help bridge people to that next level. We're quite excited to actually start running some period 1 equivalency programming over the next semester at a number of our high schools, and seeing how many folks we can have completing their or starting their career and trades journey directly at the high school level. So it's quite exciting, I'd say.
Don't worry, we covered those other ones, so just jump.
Okay, fantastic. Can we, next slide, please? So one of the other areas, as Dr. Price identified, that we've been exploring has been in research. And uniquely enough, we've gotten quite involved in the Canadian military, both through partnerships and research overall. We actually just completed a research project that was, oddly enough, funded by the Ontario government, who just reached out to Portage College to have us develop frameworks for military education and training recognition for Ontario, Alberta, and eventually the country. So I'm actually going to Toronto next week just to present on those findings so that we can see how we can structure that. Part of the challenge with military training is it doesn't always relate as well to civilians, and so figuring out ways in which we can make that connect all the better has really been the focus of our research to help folks kind of coming in and out of the military. Further to that, we've also been working with the Canadian Defence Academy for research on officer training, just to help them identify best practices for how they can teach the next generation of officers. That's just closing up now, and so we're continuing to kind of build and grow there. And by virtue of that, we're also working with the military on ways in which we can build pathways for folks who want to get into areas like business, CSW, community social work, computer science, that type of thing, so that way when they do release, they can take their skills and apply them well into our regional environment too. The last one that we're working on, research related to the Canadian military, is actually a Veterans Homelessness Project. So we realize that as folks transition out of the military as well as the RCMP, sometimes there can be challenges for folks. It's a very different lifestyle, and we know a number of folks do want to continue to live in rural Alberta, but the supports in navigating it is different than in the cities. And so we're working with the Rural Development Network on actually helping to identify, systematize, and support ways in which veterans can better transition into life in rural Alberta once they do leave the service. It's quite a rewarding area, and I'm quite pleased to see that out of all of Alberta, they've chosen to focus this project on the Cold Lake Bonnyville region to start. And so we do have some researchers coming that I've been working with, coming from Edmonton and Calgary, just to talk a bit more with the Transitions Office and support networks, really to make sure that that support and transition process works all the stronger. Yeah, the last couple pieces here as well too. We've also been working with some of the membership there on officer training plans so that we can actually train some folks to move to those officer ranks as needed. And lastly, a number of vets, as they do transition out, will often ask for opportunities to work a little bit in the civilian environment. It is a very different world. Portage College has been taking a number of them as essentially practicum or work experience students. Very, very valuable. The military continues to pay them as they do this process, but it's very helpful for membership as well as for supporting organizations. And so as we've seen that benefit, we've also been talking with other industry partners from all across the region about the value in having some very highly trained, very well credentialed individuals potentially working and transitioning out to support local industry.
So that's really us just trying to give you an update of what's been going on in the last couple of years at Portage College. We really value the relationship and the partnership with the MD of Bonnyville. We want to remind you that we have the Purple Ticket program, which allows one free course for individuals on council. And so with that, if there's any questions for us, we'd be glad to do our best to answer them. And we're just, again, so thankful and grateful for allowing us to come and meet with you today.
Yeah, thank you. Well done. Questions? Councillor Crick.
Thank you, Reeve. Yeah, just want to say thank you again for coming and for the work you're doing and getting the trades into the area, getting more stuff here. That's great. My question was going to be, but you just answered it about the courses. So maybe I'll talk to you offline about that. Thanks.
Love to have you, Josh.
I guess your presentation was so well done that we have no questions. You guys answered all the questions with your presentation. Oh, we have one now. Counselor Palmer.
Have you ever researched the possibility of having municipal government courses? Being able to have a lot of our own home-born and raised people to look at municipal government as an actual career option? Because you talk to kids and they have no idea what that means.
That's a great question. Do you know, or do I need to give my chair to Nancy? Do you have an answer there, Nancy? Here, I'll Nancy, come on.
I think a few years ago, we did do the research into the municipal, the provincial training that's available. And there is an opportunity to broker it if there is a need. But I think what you're hitting on is something we haven't looked at, which is maybe through our university transfer program, offering the free courses in the high school that might get the interest going. So thank you for that. I think we'll take that one away, actually.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't aware of that, Nancy, so thanks for the insight.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
That's why we pay her the big bucks. Questions like that. Any other questions or comments? Very well done. Thank you, all three of you guys, for coming.
Thank you
Thanks for
very
your
much.
years of service, and
Thank you.
welcome to the new guy.
Thank you.
All right. Have a
Bye-bye.
great rest of the day. Thanks. I guess let's go to addition 9.4. Or do we need a motion probably from this, right? Yes, looking for a motion. Thank you, Councillor DeShane, for making a motion. That council accepts the presentation by Portage College, providing comprehensive updates on the college current initiatives, recent developments, and future strategic priorities as information. Any discussion on this motion? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. Thank you. It's carried. Thank you. On to 9.4.1, 1927, I believe it was.
Good morning, Council.
Morning.
Today we have bylaw number 1927, amending unpaid tax penalty bylaw, and administration is only looking for first reading. At the October 22nd, 2024 council meeting, council heard a long-term tax strategy as part of the financial sustainability plan presented by Corporate Services. The presentation included the financial sustainability framework, property tax revenues, financial risks, available financial tools, financial strategies, and recommendations. One of the directions from Council's resolution, which was 24.456, stated that Council directs administration to implement a property tax due date of June 30th for the 2026 property tax levy. Just a side note on that, that resolution was a resolution that was presented by administration for Council's consideration. The financial sustainability plan presentation at that time included the following details as it pertained to the property tax due date. Revenue raised through property taxes are currently levied at the end of May and are due September 15th. This revenue supports the current year operating and capital budgets. So although we collect the revenues on September 15th, that collection actually has to fund the expenditures during that year. So we collect them a little later than we need the money. The second item was a large demand on municipal finances occurs through the construction season, where 41% of costs are incurred from May to September. However, only 11% of municipal revenue is collected, and the majority of that is through the monthly auto pay program. Bullet 3, nearly the entire construction season is paid for prior to collection of taxes. This impacts the MD investment portfolio, thereby reducing the MD's ability to generate revenue through interest earnings. That would mean that money that would be available for earning interest through the summer is actually being used to pay the expenditures prior to collecting the taxes on September 15th. And bullet 4, most municipalities in Alberta allow for a 30-day payment time frame and are due June 30th. If council's decision is to pass first reading of amending bylaw 1846, administration would ask for council's expectation regarding methods of communication of amending the penalty date for the 2026 year. Attached is the draft bylaw, and existing bylaws are attached. Appendix A is the draft bylaw 1927, and Appendix B is the existing bylaw 1846. A strategic plan, objective, create a municipal financial sustainability plan, create a long-term financial strategy, and create a long-term tax strategy. And this also affects or is affected by Municipal Government Act Section 344, allowing council to establish a penalty for non-payment in the current year. Cost and source of funding, the 2026 municipal budget with amendments, depending upon the method established in the communication strategy. Communication strategy, newspaper advertisements, flyers in unaddressed mail, radio, social media campaigns, rural review, depending on publishing dates, are all options. The effectiveness of these potential strategies is dependent on the time available prior to the new tax penalty deadline. Administration recommendation is that bylaw 1927, being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Bonnyville, number 87, to amend bylaw 1846, unpaid tax penalty bylaw, given first reading. And if we go into Appendix A, the actual amendment in Section 1, so 1.1, that the bylaw number 1846, so the current bylaw, to establish the unpaid tax penalties of the MD of Bonnyville and their functions is amended as follows. So the first part would be deleting the current Section 1.1 and replacing it with this: that a penalty of 12% be applied to all property taxes levied in the current year remaining unpaid after the 30th day of June or 31 days after the tax notice is sent, and applied prior to any payments or credits on the first day of July or on the 31st day. Now, the reason why this is stated this way is because in the Municipal Government Act, if we send a tax notice, we cannot apply a penalty earlier than 30 days. So this bylaw catches either if we have an amendment tax notice, assessment and tax notice in August, they have 30 days to pay. Section B in this amendment section, Section 1 penalty, subsection 1.2 is deleted and replaced with that the penalty shall be added on the first day of July or the 31st day after the tax notice has been sent, whichever is later. So that is the RFD in front of council. Are there any questions?
I don't see any. Councillor Crick? Yep. Go ahead.
No question, just I'm ready to make a motion if you're ready.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. I'll move option number 1 that we to give first reading to this bylaw.
Thank you, Councillor Crick, for making this motion of the bylaw number 1927, being a bylaw of the Municipal District of Bonnyville number 87 to amend bylaw number 1846, unpaid tax penalty bylaw, be given first reading. Any discussion on this motion, council? Yes, Councillor DeShane.
Thank you to the Reeve. Just, Kelvin, do you foresee any hardships to any of our residents by changing those dates at all?
Through the Reeve to all of council, that is something top of mind for administration. There's one current process or a policy in place that if a property owner misses paying at the deadline and they have had no penalties for the last 5 years on any of their currently owned properties, they can request to council to have the penalties canceled for that year, and the policy says that council will cancel those taxes. In addition to that, we currently have a property tax auto pay or tax installment payment plan. Administration is currently working on revising that bylaw and bringing it to council at a council committee in February to discuss some of the changes administration would like council to consider. One of the items in there is for the 2026 year, if someone feels that they cannot meet the new deadline of June 30th, they could apply to be on the tax installment payment plan. And let's say it's easier with an example. Let's say that the tax bill is $2,400 and they choose to get on this payment plan in June. So their first payment in this draft that we're looking to propose to council would be 6 more months coming up to the end of the year, divided by 2,400. So their payment would be $200 a month starting in July to help for this first year in transition.
Right.
So we want to make sure that if council goes ahead with it this year, that there is a tool in place that minimizes a hardship on any property owner.
All right, that's good. And so you're going to start, if this does pass first and second reading, and you're going to start advertising these amendments to the public as quickly as possible?
Through the chair to all of council, as soon as we have third reading, we will be doing advertisement. We have been talking with the communication staff to see what opportunities are available for advertising. You know, we're going to be sending up the tax notices relatively soon, so we're definitely going to look at all avenues as quick as possible to address that.
Thank you. Yeah, change is not always easy for those people. Thank you.
Councillor Palmer.
Thank you, Mr. Reeve. Through the Reeve, I just have 2 questions. What is the percentage of tax installment plans that you currently have versus the people that are making the one-time payment on the due date? What is the percent, like the?
Through the chair to all of council, when we did the presentation, and it'll be pretty close this year as well, about 11% was collected by the summertime of the total amounts outstanding, or the total amounts levied. Now, for the 2025 tax rate bylaw, we were collecting $113 million through taxation. That pretty well almost all of it was collected on the September 15th. So if we're taking 11% of 113 million, we're talking about 12 million has been collected. Now, in that 12 million, let me back up. In the total $113 million, we have 19 million that gets paid out to the schools for those requisitions. We have about 1.2 million for the total of the Lakeland Lodge, the Greater North Foundation, the designated industrial. So there are some other bills that have to be paid through that 12 million that we collect up to the summer at that 11%. So for all intents and purposes, as this presentation was presented to council in 2024, the emphasis was in the current method of funding, operating, and capital during the current year. A lot of that money is actually coming out of our existing investments to pay for these costs. And then in September, when we collect all the taxes, then we pay back to the monies that was supposed to be in investments.
So how do you feel our prepayment plan ratepayers, how would they be affected by this due date change? Because that would mean a difference in their monthly payment, correct, to make the adjustment from September to June?
Through the chair to all of council, property owners who are currently on the auto pay plan will not experience anything different than what they've been experiencing up to now. The payments, people who are on auto pay, the payments that they see in January, February, March, and April, and May, and June are based on last year's levy. And then what administration does is subtract the total amount collected from the current levy and then just divide it by the last 6 months. The other thing we in administration do is any of those payments that change by quite a bit, you know, $100 a month, we actually phone those property owners and let them know what the change is, just as a follow-up. It'll show on the tax notice, but we'll also make those phone calls as well, just to second check, because sometimes people don't look at all the details on their tax notice. So the current ones really won't see any change. The revision in the auto pay, the draft, would allow new people, new property owners, that if they can't pay the full tax bill by June 30th, to have the option to then enter into this agreement, and in the current year, or in the 2026 year, be able to take the total amount and divide it by the months remaining from the date of the application. So that's what we would be bringing to council in the council committee.
Thank you.
Councillor Crick?
Yeah, just to add one more thing, I just did a quick Google search and it looks like most of the province has June 30th as a deadline, so it kind of brings us in line with most of the rest of the province. Not all, but most.
Yeah, and I'm thankful that there is some kind of forgiveness, because there's some people that don't online or nothing, and their September was when they always pay their taxes, and they're gonna come in September and pay their taxes, so, yeah.
Through the chair to all of council, yeah, and anything administration can bring the council as an additional tool to help during this transition, you know, it benefits everybody.
Okay, thank you. No further questions, I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you, council.
You're welcome. Let's go to correspondence and information. Ben.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Council. Correspondence information. We have 17 items. The first item I'd like to bring to your attention is 10.6. Most recently in Bonneville Swimming Pool had a beautiful swim event, and we were one of the sponsors. They sent us a thank you card. And on that note, with thank you cards, I'm quite happy to present 10.12. We are committed to this community, and it shows right here that the Men's Recovery Center that we support has sent us a thank you card. This card means a lot for our community. It shows we're engaged and we care. The last item, I'd like to call up Matt. And Matt's going to present to you one of his retirees.
Good morning, Council.
Morning.
So we have John Ditchburn. We're happy to announce John's retirement. He's had 32 years with the MDA Bonneville. In his 32 years, he's been a landfill attendant all 32 years, starting out at Beaver Dam and Fort Kent landfills. So when Beaver Dam landfill closed, probably 2009, then John went and worked at the Ardmore landfill. So yeah, 32 years. So after discussion with John, he's still a little bit under the weather, but he did agree that we can celebrate his retirement when he feels up to it. And yeah, we'll leave that up to him, what he would like to do, but we are very excited for him to go enjoy himself, him and Ruth and their dogs. And
Oh, well, thank you, John. Yeah, we'll look forward to that.
yeah, once I have more details, I'll share with council.
Sure, thank you for sharing that with us. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Deputy Reeve Fideyev.
Yeah, thanks. I'd like to bring up 10.5 and 10.11. So in regards to a letter of support for 86 Cancer, I know we sponsored them last year. I was just wondering if you could do the same for this year.
Good morning, Reeve and Council. Yesterday, I did send Deputy Reeve Fideo just some information about last year's sponsorship. So that sponsorship included $750 in cash, and then also 2 door prizes. The 1 door prize was a 5-person family pass plus a $50 gift certificate for the aerial park, and the other one was a 5-person family pass plus a $50 gift certificate to the 2 park. So that's what we did last year for them.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to go ahead with that as well. Do I need a motion for that one? For sure, right? And then will be the, I guess, council giving will be the one to go with?
Mr. Reeve, it's my understanding that administration can approve this request through policy.
Okay.
Yeah, through council, policy C-2A-003 states that we can do that, and we will be sending them that if that's council's wish.
Perfect, thank you.
So we don't need a motion?
We don't need a motion
Okay,
for that.
thank you.
Yeah.
And what else did you
Yeah,
have?
and then 10.11, which is the Victor Riggett Sportsman Dinner. We've always been there every year. I just wanted to see if the council would like to get a table to show support there.
Did we have 2 tables at this event or 1, or does anyone remember?
Through to Reeve and Council last year, there was 2 tables at this event.
Okay.
Question is, who's going to show up?
Who would like to attend this, Councillor Crick?
I was just going to say, I don't think our tables were full the last year. So we might only need 1.
Okay.
Just one?
Just
2 tables?
Oh, I don't know.
Just a show of hands around, what, if you know right now from council, who would like to attend this?
Get a table, and then this way it's whatever, but
For sure, 1 table.
Okay, let's go with 1 table
yeah.
for now, and then whoever, and then we can maybe add one if we need be, if there's, go ahead, Councillor DeShane.
Yeah, to the Reeve, for sure, 1, not for now, and if we're in contact with them, if they need, we can add another table just to support them.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
We need a motion for that.
Through to Reeve and Council, it would be coming out of the council givings, but you can make a motion for 2 tables just for our tracking sheet.
Okay, who would like to make that motion?
I can do that.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Reeve Fideo, for making the motion that we attend the sportsman dinner for 1 table. We'll wait till that comes up on the screen. Just while we're waiting, I'll go back to 86 Cancer. I've been a big part of that since it started. It's another great thing in our area that we should support. I believe it's on the 20th of February. You can come see me. I'll be coaching the winning team this year. I don't know. It better be the winning team or I'm going to get fired. But anyway, it's more than just the teams playing. It's the cause. It's a great cause. Anything to do with cancer is a great cause that we're trying to fight this. I had a prayer request at church this last, there's a 4-year-old boy in our area, you know, that has cancer. That's not fair. Just doesn't seem fair that a 4-year-old child should have cancer, so that just sucks.
Yeah, we're just looking for some extra volunteers on that. Last year, I went and helped out. We were doing the 50-50 and things like that. So again, not, you know, like say, many hands makes light work. So anybody that could come out there and run around and sell some tickets, that'd be great.
Yeah, it was we did, the MD really was well supported there, and it just, and the people that come to this game, they're just so supportive of, it just, they would just take $20 out of their pocket, person after person, just give it to you, and if they got tickets or not, it didn't matter. It seemed like they weren't worried about change or anything. It's quite overwhelming for a person when you're selling tickets like that. It's just a different experience. The giving that was from the community that was giving for 86 Cancer. So here's this. Okay, who made this motion again? Thank you, Deputy Reeve Fideo. That council approves the purchase of 1 table of 8 for the Victor and Guest Sportsman Dinner at a cost of $800 to be funded from the 2026 Council Public Relations budget. Thank you. Any discussion on this motion, council? I'm seeing none. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you, council. All right, I need a motion to accept correspondence as information. Thank you, Councillor DeShane, for making that motion that council accepts following correspondence information. All the ones below for your information. Any discussion on any of it? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you. Let's go to reports of members of council. Anyone? Yes, Councillor Crick.
Thank you, the Reeve. So Councillor Palmer and I share 2 committees, so she's going to report on those this month. That's not what we agreed on, but that's.
Thanks.
We had an FCSS board meeting. I'll talk about the RMA. We had the District 5 zone meeting for RMA, and our staff put together a great resolution trying to reclassify, asking the province to reclassify some of our bridge culverts just to culverts. If that goes through, it passed at the zone meeting unanimously, and it's a great job. Thank you to the staff that worked on that. If that goes forward, it'll probably save the province of Alberta somewhere in the range of about $2 billion over the next 30 years, given that it'll affect a lot of municipalities throughout the province and a lot of bridges, or culverts, I should say. We had an industry liaison committee. One of the highlights there was CNRL has about 500 trucks on the road hauling oil. There's a company out of Cold Lake First Nations. They're starting to drilling their first 2 wells. Had a lodge meeting, and I guess even though Councillor Palmer is reporting on that one, I'll give a couple of the highlights. There's 1 vacancy in each Bonnyville and Cold Lake, and 20 people waiting for rooms in Cold Lake or in Bonnyville Lodge, and 4 waiting in the Cold Lake Lodge. And then I had a few resident concerns that I just wanted to bring up here. One resident was concerned about the power usage of a data center. And another resident was concerned, well, that was about the bridge that I already talked about. Yeah, that's it for me. Thanks.
Okay, great job. Who would like to be next? Caroline?
Are we going in
Councillor
order?
Palmer?
So we went to an FCSS meeting, Josh and I, and we did what we call a community needs assessment. We did a strategic planning process to get to that assessment, and they will be forwarding it to the Town of Bonnyville Council as well as the MDA Council for approval. The Lakeland Lodge and Housing, we had an orientation last Friday at the Bonnie Lodge, just to better understand the enormous portfolio Lakeland Lodge and Housing have. They have the senior housing, like the Bonnie Lodge, between Bonnieville and Coal Lake. The different budgets they run, it's a huge juggling act, and I'm not even totally sure I get it yet. But it was a very informative orientation. As well as the Chamber of Commerce meeting, they're working very hard in increasing their memberships, reviewing their bylaws that have not been reviewed since 1997. So definitely required to do that. And the Winter Games, they are screaming for our council to be part of the, nobody's responded, and they've asked me to bring it forward to go to the opening ceremonies, the reception, and then the medal awarding. So if anybody's wanting to be a part of that, as of yesterday, they claimed they had not got anything, just as a reminder that, you know, they're running pretty low on volunteers, like ambassadors, stuff like that. Dan, I think, is the only one. But nobody responded to the reception.
Yeah,
or the
I did
opening.
respond to them, saying that I couldn't be there. So I
Okay.
did respond, but yes, and talked to the, like, the actual organizer herself, and
Yeah.
couldn't make it, so I'm in.
She wasn't part of that conversation
Okay,
yesterday, so
yeah.
that might be why they didn't bring it up. But
I'm
they
in-
were just asking as a
I'm a
reminder.
reindeer at the time, so
Bring it forward. And that's
I'm
everything.
volunteering on the Sunday for,
Yeah.
so.
I'm doing it on the Friday. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Counselor DeShane?
I've only had 2 or 3 meetings, but discussions with Municorp on the Municorp Trail System thing, and they want to plant in the next few years 5,000 trees a year along the trail for enhancement, and they have a program set up for doing that, so it's just going to be quite extensive. I don't know if they'll be able to achieve those numbers, but looks like they have the people and the supplies to do it, so that's going to be well rewarded for them. They have some repairs to do on some cabins along the trails, little things coming up. They get approached, as, I don't know if the MD does or not, but they're doing seismic programs through the area, and it'll be affecting the trail system. So they have one coming up in the Fort Kent area, they said. And that's it for those guys for now. We did an industry liaison committee meeting, and some of our counselors were there. And we have, sounds like one company's gonna drill 140 new oil wells. And right now, coming down our highways, we have about 500 loads of oil per day on our, that's just the oil tankers, and then there's probably double that in service trucks, equipment, and other supplies. So if you wonder why there's so much traffic on our roads, that's just the regular days of work, never mind the winter programs that are going on up north. So it's pretty crazy up there. We discussed stuff like the sand being hauled into the sand disposal sites up on 55, and lots of plastic going in our ditches and fields, and discussed that with the operators. And things like dust from the heavy trucks creating dust into the farmland, doing damage to some of our crops. So we brought that forward to them, and everybody will be working on that. Attended a 3-day workshop for Agri-Services Board in Edmonton. All the delegates from throughout the province were there, well attended. 3 days of speakers and programs, and they served us some nice agricultural beef on the last night. It was awesome. We had 3 choices and we tried them all. But the programs.
Beefsteaks.
Yeah. Beef is always good. They are recommending that the farmers do prepare for changes. They are scared that there might be a correction coming in the near future for the cattle prices, and they're not sure what the crop prices are going to do. But I didn't get a full picture from the crop price things, but they are recommending to be prepared for some kind of correction and get prepared for it on your farm sites. So a few other things, and so other councillors were on that conference with us, so if they have anything to speak on it, they can. I just want to throw in some of the highlights. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Were they talking about a correction for farm machinery to come down, maybe?
None of that. No.
No correction in that?
No, none of those good ones. No,
Okay.
just scary, scary stuff.
Okay, thank you, Councillor DeShane. Councillor Amalier, okay, we got Councillor Kaluk first. Go ahead.
So two events that took place. January 18th, I went to the Craig Copeland event in the city of Cold Lake, represented us. Basically just a farewell party. Everybody talked about him, how good he was, and what he did for the community. And then on the 20th, I joined Ed, Caroline, and Dan at the ASB conference. Learning experience for me, but I think Ed pretty well covered it, and he probably ate my portion as well, so. So definitely learning experience there.
That's a good one. Councillor Amalia? Okay.
Yeah, there we go. A few things since our last meeting. One was, there was an online public forum for the Alberta Electoral Boundaries Commission. And though that is provincial jurisdiction, it does affect rural Alberta. And so that was a good presentation. A number of MLAs and or municipal mayors and others like that had some good presentations, including our MLA Scott Sear give a good presentation on the complexities of trying to be an MLA in such a large rural riding and how it does affect municipalities that have to interact with the province compared to things like where large urban centers have multiple MLAs, though they do have a larger population and such. But yeah, it was a good presentation about how province will be adding, or the plan is to add 2 seats to the legislature, but they do that by adding 3 to the large urban centers, and Northern Alberta would be losing 1 seat. And so it is still before the commission. They're still working on boundaries and what to do and if there's a way to save that seat for Northern Alberta. But yeah, it was an informative presentation. As others have mentioned, there was the RMA District 5 meeting. Attended Malunka along with Deputy Reeve Fideo and many other people there. It was a good event to be there on behalf of the MD, and they thanked the MD for sponsorship at that point. Had a LARA board meeting, and the big thing out of that one is that Smoky Lake County has pulled out of LARA and pulled their funding from that. So they will no longer have representation, and so there's a slight restructuring of the representatives just to keep the numbers up, but also at the moment it's business as usual, but they are losing, I forget the exact number, but it was $40,000 to $50,000 that Smoky Lake had been contributing. Other than that, Lara also has their Farmer Appreciation Night coming up this Friday evening in Glendon, Friday, January 30th, and tickets are still available on and through Lara, through their website or phone call, whatever it takes to get a hold of them. My understanding is tickets are still available for that event. Attended the ASB conference, and that's been talked about. C2 meeting, again, just the relative business as usual. There was talk about some of their large capital projects coming up to do with routine maintenance and replacements, nothing, no major expansions on, at least not in this meeting, anything. It was just the usual business of the Centennial Center. Alberta Winter Games was mentioned, and as was stated, they do have the Coal Lake Volunteer Rally tomorrow, and that should be on our calendars. I don't have a time pegged to that right now, and February 3rd is the Bonnyville Volunteer Rally, and so that's a time for them to have anybody that is willing and able to help to show up, gather information, get their training, get whatever credentials they need to be issued. And yeah, I said, I've had a few text messages and emails in the last few days lining up. They're giving me the title of ambassador to go sit on the bus and greet people and give them direction and answer questions. And so there's also a variety of, that's not the only volunteer position available. They've probably got something over that whole weekend. If you're available, there's something that you can do over that whole time, actually even before and after the games. There's volunteer work that is still required. Yeah, and yeah, a few phone calls here and there, one a little more major, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in the planning session about an intersection in the Franchier area on Highway 660. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Ambassador Amalia. Deputy Reeve Fadeev.
Yeah, in regards to the Winter Games, ATCO sponsored the, I guess, beginning of the torch and the fire, so Councillor Palmer was there, and Ed was there just for the meal again, and he just had a burger and took off. So, thanks for showing up. Again, we went to the zone meeting in Lamont. We also had economic development meeting on a Saturday morning. I had an opportunity to represent us at NAGO, which is the Northeast Alberta Alliance for Growth and Opportunity. So right now I'll be chairing the subcommittee for Highway 28, along with Mayor Elise Brasso and Deputy Reeve Lauren Alinsky from Smoky Lake, and we were on a quest to get this done. I think Reeve Kalinsky was on that, and we actually hired some lobbyists for Highway 28, and we got in front of the minister, and we still got feels like the election kind of we lost some wind behind our sails, so we need to start that back up again and just give her before the next budget comes in, because if we don't see engineering on the next budget, then we're all kind of SOL. So, but we need to get that figured out and push hard for the next few months. So, again, library meeting, Malenka, and that's it. So everything else was covered. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It was touched on the MD Industrial Liaison meeting by Councillor Duchesne and Councillor Crick. We had a BFRA meeting the other day, just ordinary business. C2, like Councillor Amalia said, just regular business. I attended Iron River fundraiser for school kids for field trips. There's amazing how many people are there from the whole region playing basketball. I didn't even get one basket the whole stinking Saturday. In the warm-up, I think I hit one or two, but I didn't even hit the rim for our team, so I was like considered a water boy and a pylon. I can't believe I didn't even hit the rim once, but yeah, there are some pretty amazing players in our area, so it was well attended. These kids should be able to have a great field trip, thanks to Dustin Blake, the principal there, for putting this on every year. It's a fundraiser. It's well attended by a lot of people throughout the region, so just a privilege to be there. Did another video for the Alberta Winter Games, our CEO and myself. He did so much better speaking than I did. But we tag teamed, and it should be up there. Don't laugh too hard when you guys see it. Also, we had a Chiefs meeting last night for the BFRA. I've been to a lot of Chiefs meeting in my day, and it's one of the best Chiefs meeting I've ever been to. So we were done in 2 hours. It was very well done. Dan can speak to that. He's one of the chiefs, and yeah, it's just very positive, and I thank them on behalf of council and myself for all the volunteers and all that they do for our area. We are blessed to have them, all the volunteers in this area. So, but what a great meeting we had last night. So really well attended and is just well organized. That's all I can say. So everything else that you guys was attended, you guys mentioned and talked very well about it. So That's it? Thank you. I guess I need a motion to go into closed session. Thank you, Counselor Palmer, for making this motion to go into closed session. Any discussion? I'm seeing none. Everyone in favor will just raise their hands. That's carried. We're into closed session.
Can I get Stephanie and Scott to stay?
More than likely, yeah. No? Okay, I was the only board member there. Yeah.
Matt always stays. You just Nope. No. Yeah. See your plan.